everybody, and welcome to my first video. I am Color Mama is what I'm gonna go by. I have an Instagram, Color Mama 360, and this is the first video for my YouTube channel. So a little bit about me and my coloring journey. So this channel is gonna be adult coloring, so adult coloring books, adult coloring hauls, completed pages, things like that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go as well. But I wanted to start this channel because I have been into adult coloring on and off for a long time now. I don't know what my official start date of getting into adult coloring would be. I can't even remember really the first book I ever got, but I would say probably around 2018, 2017 is when I first kind of started coloring as an adult, and then have just been gradually getting more into it. I've definitely had stints where I've taken breaks, sometimes longer than others, sometimes months, sometimes years. And I would say within the last probably 2 years, I've been a lot more into it, taking it a lot more seriously, exploring the coloring community here on YouTube. And I've been thinking about making a channel for a while, but I didn't want things to be, too repetitive or anything like that. But I finally decided that if for nothing else, I just kind of wanted to do this for me. I like talking about it. I like sharing my pages. So I decided to go for it. I want to preface things by saying that my expectations for this channel are very, very low. I'm mostly just doing this for myself, doing it for fun. Like I said, I like to talk about it. I like to share my pages. I've never made any sort of content or creation. I haven't even had social media for the last probably 8 years until I created the Color Mama Instagram to share my coloring. So this is very amateur and relaxed, and I just kind of wanted some sort of platform to talk about my hobby and share different things. So that's kind of my coloring journey so far, as well as, why I wanted to start this channel. I probably have a much, much smaller coloring book collection than a lot of people here in the coloring community. This is not my entire collection, by the way. I just grabbed a few things so that you didn't have to look at the blank white desk that I have. But I do probably have a smaller coloring book collection than most. Definitely probably a smaller coloring supply collection than most. I haven't really ventured out with supplies very much yet. I'm still very, very much a beginner colorist. My pages are not some sort of amazing creations or anything like that, but I do enjoy it, and I am learning more and more, and I definitely do think I'm progressing. It seems like my coloring has been getting better. I'm not really planning on doing any sort of like tutorials or anything like that on this channel as of right now. I just don't feel like I'm at that level to be teaching others. I'm still definitely learning myself. So I think mostly what types of videos you would find on this channel and what types of videos I am wanting to create are probably the same types of videos that I like to watch. So haul videos, completed pages, coloring plans, and just general collection type videos. I do have quite a few ideas for videos that I would like to get started with and do, but I think that those are kind of what I had in mind when I wanted to start a channel, and so that is probably what I will mostly be focusing on, at least initially, and that could always change. But like I said, I'm still very much a beginner colorist. I don't feel like I am quite at the level to do any sort of like tutorials or color alongs or anything like that yet. And as far as kind of just what I want to share, I think that's probably gonna be the area that I want to talk about the most. So one thing I wanted to talk about in this video is just, again, kind of as part of my welcome, is coloring organization. So I do have the 2025 coloring planner from Amanda Colors. This is just the one that I got on Amazon. As you can see, there is a lot that I don't use in this planner. And some of that has to do with just not having social media. I've never done a buddy color before. And so, yeah, maybe some of it that I haven't used prior to having a coloring Instagram and a YouTube channel, I would use now. I also didn't color for a not long, but for a couple months. I am a mom, hence the name Coloring Mama, and I am actually only about a month away from expecting my second child. So I did go through a period where I just didn't really feel like coloring this year. And so that's kind of this April to June area. There's no goals there because I did take a little bit of a break. So there's also a portion of this planner that's not used. As you can see, like I haven't done any 2025 totals. I definitely had intentions of using this, but I just, when I took that break, I just didn't really go back and fill it in. Same with this one. Just because the month to month, like I did color in January, but then I took a break, so I didn't end up filling out January. I don't think I really colored for February, March, or April. And if I did, it was maybe like one page, so it wouldn't have really shown up in the way that I wanted anyways. You can see I did put down a completed, or a book I would like to complete. I'm not sure. Looks like maybe I put that in completed coloring books, but it's actually just what I would like to complete. So it should have just been over here. I'm wondering if I put it down here just preemptively, thinking that I was definitely going to finish it because I have a start date and no finish date. Anyway, that one book was Matchstick Mouse Pumpkin Party. And I have not touched that book since I took my break. So not necessarily on the right track for that. This is probably the most filled out page so far. So these are all of my books minus a few that I believe I've gotten more recently, so I'll need to fill those in. And what I did was just when I colored in a book this year, I colored in the little square and then colored in a book up here. So yeah, so far, and like I said, this isn't up to date yet for finished pages in July, but so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it looks like 9. I've colored in 9 books. And probably, like I said, a little bit more than that because I tend to like to update this kind of stuff at the end of the month, and so I haven't done that yet for July. So yeah, like I said, some of this is just going to be empty because I took a break. I haven't colored any of the images either, but I would like to. I think there's an August one that I am planning to possibly color in. So yeah, as you can see, like I didn't fill anything in for March. I didn't fill anything in for April. So really I picked back up with this in, did I even fill out anything for June? No. So July will pretty much be my first, just as far as picking it back up. So yeah, that's why the sticky notes there. So for July, yeah, you can see some of the prompts and challenges that I wanted to do. Like I said, I've never done a buddy color, so if anybody would like to be my very first buddy color, let me know. I do, like I said, I have a smaller collection than most, but I also have books that I feel like are pretty popular. So the odds of me having one of the same books as you are pretty high. If anybody is interested in doing a buddy color, I did put down one completed page that I think I just finished at the very, very beginning of the month. And so I just wrote that one down, and I need to fill out the rest of mine for July. And so you'll see in my July completed pages, this will be more filled out. Untouched books, monthly statistics. So see, like, these are some of the things that I have also never used, like the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I still do not have any plans to do Facebook, but you know, I could maybe use these ones a little bit more. But like I said, at the same time, like, this channel is just for fun. I'm not really worried too much about, you know, followers and things like that. I'm just honestly doing it for myself. So anyways, I do use this planner. Oh, this is the page that I was thinking of for August. I do like this planner a lot. I do plan to use this planner more as I'm kind of coming out of that period where I wasn't coloring as much. I'm also planning on buying the 2026 planner as soon as it's available on Amazon. So I'll have that for next year as well. So that's just a little bit about kind of my organization. And I guess a lot of that is how I plan to organize in the future and actually utilize it a little bit more. So as far as, again, just kind of some organizational things, how I like to do my coloring, I don't necessarily like to pick pages out too far in advance, because I find that when it actually comes time to color them, those aren't the pages that I feel like coloring anymore. So what I have done is I usually have just been, when I feel like going through books, I will go through them, pick a couple of books that either like are untouched, haven't been touched in a while, different things like that. And what I will do is I'll just kind of show you this one as an example. So this was an untouched book that I had wanted to look through, and I just went through and tabbed a page I was interested in. Actually, this wouldn't be a good example because I only kept tagged one page. So let's switch to Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. So I'll go through, mark a few pages, and then I do something that I've seen on lots of people's channels. For the pages, I use a random number generator. So it's usually only like, I mean, maybe most 6 pages depending on the book. I think this one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then I put, when it comes time to actually color in the book, I will put a random number generator up 1 through 5, and whatever number it picks, I'll just count off, and then if I'm still filling that page, then that's the page that I color. So somewhat random, somewhat not. I have been really trying to color in untouched books, and I've done pretty well at that. But also sometimes I just look through my books, and whatever I'm feeling that day is what I start. So, yeah. So that's kind of just how I've been picking my pages, either randomly or go through a few books. Sometimes I'll use a random number generator to pick the books, and then do the same thing, go through them, mark pages that I like, and then use another random number generator when it actually comes time to color in that book to pick the page out of the pages that I've tabbed. So I don't really do like color by season or pick my pages like too far in advance, just because I tried that and I found that like I didn't want to color those pages anymore when it came to that. I do gravitate towards choosing, I guess, more seasonal pages just in the moment. So, you know, like right now I am kind of like tend to gravitate more towards summer pages. But I would say in general, I don't really have any sort of seasonal plans or anything like that. As far as choosing like color palettes and supplies, color palettes, I've honestly just been going on Pinterest and looking for color palettes that inspire me. This is kind of working, kind of not. I do have, I want to say it's called The Coloring Companion by Sarah Renee Clark, but I just haven't really figured out how to utilize that yet either. So if you have any tips for choosing color palettes or any ideas for different things that I can try, I'm definitely open to getting more ideas on how to choose color palettes, just because right now I feel like some of my color palettes have turned out great and some of them have not turned out great at all. So, and then as far as choosing supplies, as I mentioned, I have a very small supply collection. And so I do tend to use Prismacolors on almost everything. I did use Castle Arts recently for like 98% of a page. So that was kind of different. I have had those for a long time. They just sit in my pencil case, and I really like Prismacolors, and so I would just continually go for the Prismacolors, but I actually didn't mind the Castle Arts. So I'll probably use those a little bit more in the future. I do have another set of pencils, which I'll probably do a supplies video at some point. But I do have another set of pencils that, a couple different sets of pencils that I use that are just small. They're not the full set. So as far as choosing supplies, I definitely am more of a colored pencil colorist. I've tried markers. As far as like the water-based markers that I have, I just don't really know how to utilize those yet. I do not own alcohol markers yet, so I haven't really gotten into that. As far as backgrounds go, I'm really struggling right now with backgrounds. I just do not, I have supplies that could be used for backgrounds, but I have just not really figured out yet how to do backgrounds. So that's something that I'm working on. So if you have any like tutorials on backgrounds that you found really helpful, send those my way as well. As far as what is coming next, I'm debating whether to do a haul video next or kind of my June, July combined completed pages video. I will be doing both at some point, but I have colored, like the haul video is, I mean, actually everything I've gotten is pretty recent, but I have already colored in some of those books. So either way, there's gonna be some repeat because you'll see the book in the haul video and then you'll see the completed page. So I am planning on putting in another order here soon as well for some additional books. So I'm thinking that the haul video might wait and I might do my completed pages for June/July next, but we'll see. But that's kind of what's coming next, is one of those two, and then whichever one I don't do would come in the future. Some other video ideas that I have, as I mentioned, I'll be going on maternity leave here in probably a month, and so I'm thinking of kind of batch recording some videos. Some of the other ideas that I've had are, obviously like my full coloring book collection, probably just do that in the same video as all my completed pages, like ever, that I still have, I guess. I've also would like to do a coloring plans video for August because I most likely will not have one for September or October. I'm thinking of maybe doing a plans video for maternity leave and what that might look like. I've also been seeing a lot of people doing the rank and rave videos, which might be fun. Again, my coloring book collection is so small compared to some other people that those would probably be pretty short videos. I could probably just do all my books in one video. I've also been thinking of doing some of like my favorite uncolored pages, a video on those as well. Just probably maybe for all my books, or combine that with the rate and rate like I've seen a lot of people doing here on YouTube. So yeah, those are just some of like my ideas that I have that would probably be coming up next. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much. Welcome to my channel. I'm excited to get started. And like I said, if you want to be my first ever buddy color, or if you have any good tutorials for backgrounds or anything else that you'd like to share, let me know and reach out. Thanks so much. See you next time.